Howdy, y'all. Yo, Guardsman, I'm here. I'm about to lay down a whole lot of hate real fast and in a hurry. I'll wait till y'all filter in. I think, you know what? I can't even wait for y'all to filter in. It's this bad. I think that individuals who choose to even hear out a proposed weapons ban in the United States of America are themselves considering treason. And any of those who are willing to allow such a weapons ban to even pass in Congress or to even vote a yay in Congress themselves are committing an act of treason outright. I have not been able in my lifetime to go and purchase a firearm because of these very people. And I am done with listening to them sit there and jabber walk about the bullshit and not listen to actual fact, logic, and reason. A man with a firearm, or for any effect, any arms, who goes out and commits a crime, EI, all right, an exemplar, a mass shooting, is committing a crime in that instance without any sidebar, without any way around it. They are committing a fucking crime. We do not need to ban these guns. We need to make these people pay for what they have done. And anybody who backs those people and anybody who tries to take guns out of the law-abiding citizens' hands should be strung up by their necks and allowed to swing until their feet stop kicking. If you disagree with me on that, you ain't American. If you disagree on that, you are not human. I am an American, and I have watched as my country has been disassembled. And now you can understand my rage. Now you can understand why I do not see eye to eye with these people. Congress, you have failed in your recourse. You have failed in your duties. It is up to you and I, the American people, to hold these people accountable for what they have done and what they are going to continue to do. We already know that our vote does not count for shit. Our vote counts for less than. Our vote is not the slime that is left over after maggots are done eating the shit. So we have one box left because we have used our voices. We have used our votes. We have stood upon the soapbox and the ballot box for long enough. When the time has come for us to actually act, I ask you, because I have already made my decision. Will you not stand? What are you so goddamn afraid of? Here is my opinion on these people that would go and take away a right without even considering the ramifications of their actions. And it's been said before, when you take guns out of law-abiding citizens' hands, the only people who will have guns are criminals. And when you go and you ban guns, you make every law-abiding gun owner into a criminal. So let me ask you, if you're already a criminal, what's the point? What is the point of being a law-abiding citizen if you are already a criminal? What is the point of standing for these traitors in office if you have already been thrown to the wayside by these people? What is the point? What good will come of it? And with that, I yield. Wahoo. As it stands, I will personally keep my air guns on me because I'm not allowed to have a firearm. Thank you very much, you fucking assholes in Congress. It's all because of you. All because of what you have done, the harm that you have done to American citizens. And let this be made very abundantly clear. Very abundantly clear. You took it away from me before I could actually say, wait a minute, I do not agree. You took it away from me before I had a chance to prove that I was not this kind of person that you are trying to go and ban assault weapons from. You took it away from me before I had a chance to even prove to you that I am not this kind of person that goes out and commits these heinous acts. No, you took it away from me before I had a chance to even speak. So I will ask you, you in Congress, now that you have committed treason, would you go willingly when you get arrested? Hmm? Do you go willingly? Because when you are arrested and you are proven in court to have committed treason in front of cameras, in front of the country, and you are convicted of that crime due to that evidence, will you take the sentence? That sentence is death. And that sentence can be carried out in one of two ways. You can be hung by the neck until dead, or you can face the firing squad. Those are your options. You have committed treason in the eyes of the American public, and you have committed treason in the eyes of the Constitution of the United States of America, and you have committed treason in the eyes of the United States Supreme Court. So go ahead and you tell me, are you going to go willingly? Because I'll be standing there applauding as it happens. I'll be kissing the ground, by God. You should give a rat's ass, cuz I'm telling you. Because what you don't give a rat's ass about, the rest of us have to deal with. It's all or nothing. Either you care and there's a reason and there's a fight, or you don't care and you side with these traitors. And it's that simple. I do not side with these traitors. I do care. I want the opportunity at some point in time in my life to go out and go freaking duck hunting, to be able to walk around with a pistol on my hip, a rifle on my back, and feel safe because I have those implements, those tools to be able to do such. This is being passed in Congress not only as a law, but as an act in the Constitution. That's what you don't understand about this. This is an actual constitutional act in front of Congress. It will outright negate the Second Amendment. It will outright negate the 10th Amendment. It will outright negate the Fourth Amendment. We will only have the ballot box left. I mean, we will only have the cartridge box left because the ballot has not worked. The soapbox has not worked. And that means that you stand with those people who would allow for people like me, for people like any other average Joe who has a firearm, to be gunned down in public, to face the same firing squad that these traitors should be facing. Go ahead and tell me how that's righteous. And mind you, you got a lot of firearms, cuz they'll be coming to your house. You just gonna give them up? Like, I'm sorry, here, have my guns. Because they come to my house, they're gonna be getting a whole lot of lead. That's very plain and simple. I'm not fucking putting up with this shit. You want to enforce tyrannical law in my country? Well, you're gonna fucking have a hard time doing it. These people do not deserve to breathe the same air because they have not represented the American public in any form or fashion. They have represented those few idiots who sit there and go, oh, Marquis, Marquis, Marquis. And I'm done with it. They said, well, BB guns aren't the ones that are actually killing people. Who gives a rat's ass if they aren't the ones that are killing people? They can. So they're going to come after those next. You give up your firearms, okay, fine. Now you've got air guns. Well, guess what you can do with those air guns? It's a lot closer range, and they have firearms. Didn't think about that one, did you? Reality is, yes, air guns are lethal. Reality is, firearms are a much better choice. They give you a lot longer range. Reality also is, they don't fucking care about your rights. They don't care about what you're going to do because they're not going to be standing behind them fucking law enforcement. They're just going to let them go do this. They're going to tell them you need to go do this or you lose your job. And a lot of those law enforcement officers have children that they have to provide for. If they lose their jobs, they're fucking assed out. When it comes down to it and your kids are hungry, are you not going to do everything in your power to provide for them? What makes you think that they're any different? That's my point. I ain't asking you if you're going fucking, for the little pat on the back, whatever. Fuck all that bullshit. Do you hold the line? I don't want your pat on the back. I want you to hold the motherfucking line. It's time this shit ends. It's time we stop debating. It's no longer a debate. It is an outright attack. And they are coming at us. So if they're coming at us, why are we having to fight on our heels? They've negated their station in their office by the very simple fact that they have done. Now it is time for we the people to stand up and do something. You go and demonstrate whatever the fuck. Go ahead, whatever. I don't fucking care. Demonstrate all you want. When do we stand up and rally the militias? When do we stand up and fight back? Because all I see is a whole lot of us just getting mowed the motherfuck down. At this particular juncture, law abiding, ain't none of us law abiding anymore. You realize they banned all AR-15 style. That's the actual words. AR-15 style. AR-15 style with any kind of parts, any parts kits. That includes air guns. That actually includes the fucking air guns in the wording. Use your heads. This is a fucking dire situation. It includes black powder burning AR-15 style rifles. Those are rifles in common use. Thus far, I've seen a lot of fucking talking. I've been doing a lot of walking, but I ain't seen anybody walking next to me. So, in other fucking respects, I walk with my rifle everywhere the fuck I go now. And if somebody wants to come at me, well, too motherfucking bad. Because this is the reality. I cannot expect law enforcement to do a motherfucking thing. Matter of fact, let me show you what law enforcement has actually done for me. It's written on my chest. It's written on my abdomen. This is what law enforcement did for me. It's right here for God and everybody to see. Here is what law enforcement did. They let a man who was intent on stabbing me to death, cutting me like a catfish, march into my home. And not did a damn thing about it until I was being carted off to the fucking hospital, dying on a fucking operating table. What the fuck does law enforcement do, huh? Not a damn thing. What does a gun do? Ends the situation right fucking now. This is what I feel about these motherfuckers. They could pass all the motherfucking laws they want. That rifle stays at my side. And should a motherfucker try to rip that out of my hands, I bet they better be dead and cold, motherfuckers. Because otherwise, I'm going to keep on firing until a motherfucker stops twitching. Goddamn eyeball. I tell you what not. I'll tell you true. This motherfucker right here next to me will be going off until I run out of ammunition or the motherfucker stops twitching. I've done had enough. Enough patience. The time was yesterday. God damn it, sons of bitches. I should change my name to Aquila Mortis. Because the eagle has died. I see no patriots around me. I see a bunch of goddamn nutless wonders. The fuck have we all been prepping for, huh? Waiting for a fall? Well, I'll tell you what fell. Every fucking opportunity that you have to defend yourself fell. Every opportunity that any one of us has to be able to stand against tyranny. Any dozen of us has to stand against tyranny. Has been ripped from our grasp. And they are passing that law right now. By this law, you cannot pass on those guns to your children. By this law, you cannot transfer these guns in any form to any person whatsoever. By this law, you cannot purchase one once you've sold one. By this law, you cannot purchase another. By this law, you cannot even purchase ammunition. What good's a motherfucking gun if you can't purchase the ammunition to feed it? By this law, we have been disarmed. You're welcome, America. Now deal with the slavery. Stand in your chains, and may they rest lightly upon you. If there is no form of retaliation to this, then why the fuck are you trying to survive? What are you prepping for? You might as well give up, because a criminal's going to come into your house and take everything you have and shoot you dead with the gun they're not supposed to have. These people need to be dragged out, kicking and screaming, and strung up from the nearest motherfucking tree. I have never been one for insurrection, but by God, I've always been a man for revolution. Whether that be peaceful, while we can do peaceful, or that be violent because our hands have been forced. We are being led silently as sheep to the slaughter. What good does it do to have all the training in the world and no tools to use according to that training? What good does it do to have the most effective tools taken from your hands and used against you? We are pissed off, but why are we not acting? Why are we not doing? We stand around talking, playing it up on the internet for what? You bet your ass I'm pissed off. You bet your ass I am on my last nerve. I have watched as others have eroded my rights against my best efforts. I have watched as others have said, well, we shouldn't do anything violent. We shouldn't do anything dangerous or stupid. We shouldn't do anything that's illegal. Well, when illegal negates lawful, where do you stand? When law reduces a man's rights to the point where he cannot peaceably take offense and redress his grievances, he has been reduced under absolute desperation and despotism. It is prescribed in our very Declaration of Independence what our duty is. As it was said almost 260 years ago now, What good is it to trade one tyrant 3,000 miles away for 300 tyrants 1 mile away? For a body of legislation can take away a man's rights as easily as any king. And in that respect, would you rather that it was you who fought the war? Or would you rather it was your children or their children? I am getting too old to fight. I have been fighting for the longest. I have been fighting for as long as I can remember. I've turned around to those who I consider friends and family and begged them to do something because I did not have the power to. Well, now it's on you. All of you. Any one of you that owns a semi-automatic weapon of any kind. Because now you're all felons. We are all felons. We're no longer divided. We are united in one reality. And that is that every single one of us overnight has become criminals without any say. Every one of us has had everything taken from us, in so much as they have already changed the definitions to the priorly existing law. They don't even have to vote this new one in. But if they vote this new one in, which they are very well capable of and very well desiring to do, they will have taken away everything from every one of us and reduced us to fucking muskets and black powder. What good does it do to go up against a modern army with single shot rifles? What do we do? Sit back for another 10, 15 years and wait for this particular ban to be ruled out of being because it did nothing to quell the problem, but instead created a worse problem? It's a federal law. It's a federal law that acts against all semi-automatic weapons. That's all your AR-15s. That's all your 10-22s. That's all of your modern air rifles with a semi-automatic action. That's all of your Glock Gen 4s. That's all your Gen 3s, Gen 2s, Gen 1s. That's all modern pistols, including double action revolvers, because it is one trigger pull per bullet fired. That is the definition of semi-automatic, which is what is going on right now. As I've said several times, I only have one good fight left in me. And I can't run anymore. This bill will very easily pass the House. This bill will go before Congress, and Congress will not shoot it down. They've been waiting for it. And that is why I said it is already past Congress in my eyes. I have that little faith in a politician or in a group of politicians. All men may have been created as equals. But it wasn't until we all had equal capabilities with firearms that that was realized. I can't run. I've got no ability to run anymore. My body can't take it. I'm like one of them dwarves from the freaking Tolkien series. Very lethal across short distances. But I am not a long distance runner. You won't see me running away from the fight. I guarantee you that. I will do my best to avoid one. But when it comes down to it, this is a fight nobody can avoid. And it would be better to be on the offensive. We are now on dead ground. When fighting on dead ground, it behooves one to get off of dead ground. Otherwise, you will die there. The art of war. These words need to be echoing across all the platforms. These words need to be spoken in every room. These words need to be heard by every individual American with some patriotic fervor left in their hearts. We are now at do or die. Because, as Song has said, when tyranny becomes policy, rebellion becomes duty. We are long past policy. We are very closely working on law. I've already died once. There ain't nothing to be afraid of. God loves patriots. But he knows that it's only the ones who are pushed, the ones who have been taken from and beaten down, that finally stand up and say, no more. Not one more inch. We have grown fat and lazy. In being doted on and cared for. We have been given too much and not made to fight for it. We have become soft. Because as Americans on American soil, we have not had to fight a real war. Well, I'm going to tell you something. You better fucking grow some hatred. You'd better get fucking angry. Because I'm not talking about my rights. Mine were already gone long ago. I'm talking about yours. I'm talking about the fact that when this passes, they're going to try to implement it as quickly as possible, even if it hasn't passed the Senate yet. And the House and the Senate are in Congress right now. Because this ain't going to be a civil war. Ain't nothing civil about war. War is hell. The only way to survive it is to be the meanest son of a bitch on the battlefield. To be the only motherfucker that nobody wants to go up against. Congress would have you fighting with sticks and stones against AR-15s. That's how they would have you fighting. If you still have the will. Because every government agency is exempt by this law. I am fucking madder than a red hen in the middle of a fire ant patch, boy. I tell you what. It's going to be all of the above. It's going to start as get the fuck off my lawn. It's going to end as revolution. And it's all because we were soft. We didn't have this gumption that I have right now when all of this began. We'd be in a hell of a lot better situation right now. But as it stands, we're not. I've been disarmed for more than half of my life. I just recently started rebuilding my arsenal. And it's thanks to bullshit bans like these. I couldn't even purchase a fucking air gun, though they existed in a semi-automatic format because they were illegal. Firearms were out of the question. Do you really think they're going to stop at firearms? Or do you think they'll be coming to take away your car too? Do you think that they'll be coming to shoot your dog? Because you ain't got a gun to protect them with. Does the Constitution have so little meaning? What good comes from laying down and going belly up, prostrating yourself in front of somebody else, telling you with their words, you cannot do this? Because let me see here, for the longest time, the law-abiding citizen was the only one who was legally allowed to have a gun. Now, the law-abiding citizen is the only one who is not going to have a gun. And I told y'all last night this was coming. I said, look at history, because it is doomed to repeat itself. And it is only through the gumption, the grit, the gravel in your crawl that you have the ability to respond. I have no more smiles. I have no more laughter. I have no more jokes for anybody. I have pure, unadulterated, passionate anger. Because things are being taken away from those people I love. Those people I cherish are being turned into criminals before my eyes. And nobody is willing to do anything. Apparently, I was wrong. Because I've always said I was not born into a nation of cowards. I have absolute unadulterated hate in my heart for any person who would try to take away that which I worked so hard to attain. I've never worked so hard for anything in my life. Hell, I didn't work this hard to get the fucking motorcycle I have. And I put a lot of love into that bike. I agree, cuz I got more respect for dog shit. I won't step in dog shit. But you bet your ass I will fucking gut stomp the lily liver out of them motherfuckers so fast it'll make their fucking ears pop. They want to come to my home and start a fight, they got a fight on their hands. And when it comes down to it, I'd be willing to fight next to anybody. So long as they got the same amount of hatred in their crawl, the same willingness to get some. I don't care who you are. You could be fucking fatalist for all I give a rat's ass, long as you got the hatred. Because now is not the time to try and find it. Now is the time to use it. It's too late to try and find that hatred. It's too late to go out and train with your guns. You better be trained up and ready to rock. You'd better be willing to fucking shortcock it right out the door. Because this is where we are. Here's your shit sandwich without the bread. Hope you enjoy. Because dinner is gonna be shit stew. There's nothing left for it. I'm just waiting because I know they're coming to my house. I know they're coming to me. I don't give a shit who it is either. It could be Chinamen. It could be bullies with badges. I don't fucking care no more. They brought this hatred out of me. They finally woken the motherfucking dragon, goddammit. And if they come here and they say, Mr. Price, you need to boil down, you need to pipe it down. You're scaring your neighbors. My response will be death first. I don't care if I scare you. If you're afraid of me, that means you're part of the problem, not part of the solution. I've been ready for a long time. I've been waiting for somebody to find me with my bullet written with the name on it. I've been waiting. Ain't nobody found me with it yet.
Nobody had the balls to actually do something. Mind you, I am not angry or ashamed of what I have done in my history, but rather I am ashamed and I am angry at myself for what I have not done. Death would be a reprieve from this torture. That much is clear. Yeah, cuz I wouldn't even get that. My ass would end up fucking getting cremated and tossed to the winds. At best. At worst, I'd get stuck in a fucking pauper's grave. Still, it would be a reprieve to the stupidity that is going on right now. I'm tired of people telling me, be patient, be patient. It's not over yet. What the fuck do you call it when they are literally voting on your ability to defend yourself in your own motherfucking home with the most effective tools known to man? I call that legislating away your rights and liberties. A legislative body can and will evoke tyranny just as easily as any king. They're doing it now. As you sit and you listen to me sit here and fucking scream and yell at the top of my motherfucking lungs. Mad as hell because of what I've seen. Politicians more interested in their political agendas than interested in reality. Because this doesn't remove guns from the hands of politicians. This doesn't remove guns from the hands of law enforcement. This doesn't remove guns from the hands of those individuals who would go and do harm because a criminal doesn't give a shit. This doesn't remove guns from the hands of those agencies that will go and invoke that tyranny on you. It removes the guns from your hands. No legislation that ever said the words gun and legislation in the same fucking bill were ever constitutional in any respect. And they were not ordained by God. I will not respect any ruling anymore Where's my firearms? I want my Savage Model 99. I want my Car 15 Paratrooper model. I want my fucking Beretta M28. M29, sorry. I want my Beretta M92. I want my 12 gauge shotgun. The fucking extended mag security barrel. I am tired of being the one who is not physically capable of defending himself against somebody of a much larger form and fashion, yet still relegated to being less than because I cannot purchase a firearm. Even though I could make a fucking thing of C4 in my fucking garage. I am sick and tired of it. The only thing that comes from tyranny is more tyranny and oppression. In my opinion, they should all be hanged. And those that refuse a hanging should be shot on the spot. Let's start again from a clean slate. That is my opinion. So if you believe in this tyrannical bullshit government crap that these people are spreading, I have to wonder, why do you believe in it? Why do you back it? What good does it do? Because, as it were, thus far, I see nothing but fear and loathing. I see nothing but lies and crooked politicians, all after their own goals and aims. And there is only one truth, that all men were created as equals. And being that they were created as equals by their creator, were endowed by certain inalienable rights. Chiefest amongst those rights was the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Why can't I pursue my happiness? What's so wrong with that? As it were, I am ye, O guardsman, and motherfuckers, I am out.